The FA Cup is already underway, although since we're only currently at the third qualifying round stage and the big boys don't enter the competition until January, I doubt many of you will be following it with interest just yet. Nevertheless, we have been asked to take a look at the tournament's last 7 top scorers, so today we're going to do just that. Here are the last 7 FA Cup top scorers. Where are they now? Will Grigg, Wigan Athletic. The top scorer in the FA Cup last season, you may recall that Will Grigg scored a pretty memorable goal against Manchester City in the 5th round of the competition last year, a goal which consigned Pep Guardiola's men to only their 3rd defeat of the season, which was followed by some unsavoury scenes on the pitch that almost landed Sergio Aguero in hot water. Grigg scored 26 goals as Wigan won promotion from League One last season, although 7 of those goals came in the FA Cup, making him the competition's seasonal top scorer. The 27-year-old Northern Irish international, who is perhaps better known for a single song than his entire playing career, is still with the Latics in the Championship. Adam Morgan, CURZON ASHTON. The top scorer in the FA Cup for the 2016-17 season was a tie between Adam Morgan and the man up next. The great thing about the FA Cup has always been the openness of the competition, the chance of an upset, and the way it pits complete minnows up against English football's elite. That is reflected in this 7, with non-league striker Adam Morgan featuring in 6th. A product of the Liverpool Academy, Morgan bagged 6 goals in just 3 FA Cup games for CURZON ASHTON. Robbie Fowler hailed Morgan as one of the best finishers he'd ever seen, but after a couple of years with Halifax Town, the now 24-year-old recently returned to CURZON ASHTON in the National League North. Son Heung-min, Tottenham. That's the contrast we were talking about, as the man tied with Adam Morgan on 6 goals in the 16-17 FA Cup was South Korean international Son Heung-min. A really versatile and technical forward who previously starred in the Bundesliga, Son has been a big hit at Tottenham since his arrival in 2015. Half of his 6 FA Cup goals came in Tottenham's 6-0 quarter-final win over Millwall, but his side were ultimately knocked out by Chelsea in the semi-finals. Matej Vydra, Burnley. A centre-forward who is fighting to avoid falling into that category of players who are too good for the Championship but not quite good enough for life in the Premier League, Matej Vydra joined Burnley for more than £10 million in the summer. The Czech international was the FA Cup's outright top scorer in the 2015-16 season, bagging 6 goals in 5 games in the competition whilst on loan at Reading. That was more goals than he managed in Reading's entire league campaign, and it helped the club reach the quarter-finals. Saido Berahino, Stoke City. Whereas some of these videos have taken us back as far as the 1990s, as they've been dominated so strongly by 1 or 2 players, this one only takes us back to the 2014-15 season, when there was a 3-way tie for the FA Cup's Golden Boot. The words Saido Berahino and Golden Boot seem a little alien now, with the Burundi international only recently having ended a goal-scoring drought spanning an incredible 2.5 years and almost 50 appearances. Back in 2014-15 though, Berahino couldn't stop scoring. As well as scoring 10 goals in 11 games for England's under-21s, the youngster bagged 14 in the Premier League and a further 5 from 4 in the FA Cup. Berahino joined Stoke City from West Brom for a potential £15 million in January 2017, and there are just glimpses that he could return to form at the Bet365 Stadium this season. Paul Gallagher, Preston. Once a regular in the Premier League with Blackburn Rovers, Paul Gallagher's career has enjoyed a renaissance at Preston North End. An intelligent and technically gifted midfield operator, Gallagher bagged 13 goals in all competitions in the 2014-15 campaign, as Preston won promotion from League One. 5 of those goals came in just 6 appearances in the FA Cup, where Preston were knocked out by Manchester United. Now aged 34, Gallagher is still an important player at Deepdale. Jon Stead, Notts County. Last, but by no means least, and the 3rd player tied on 5 goals in the 2014-15 FA Cup campaign, is Notts County striker Jon Stead. A big centre-forward who has turned out for the likes of Blackburn, Sunderland and Sheffield United in the Premier League, Stead's 5-goal haul came after dropping down to League One with Bradford City. The Bantams were the giant killers of that year's FA Cup, famously knocking out Chelsea in the 4th round, a game in which Stead scored 1 of his 5 goals. 4 years on, the 35-year-old is now playing under Harry Kewell in League 2 with Notts County. So that's it for our 7. Thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more from us if you enjoyed the video, and you can now also follow us on Twitter for more ramblings from me. Our username is simply @HITC Sevens.